back to our channel. My name is Francisco and I work for Virtual CNS. And here we're going to talk about Office Backup. So Office Backup being the data protection ability for your Office 365, okay? So let's assume, we are assuming at this point that you are using Office 365, you are using the product, you obviously sending emails back and forth, you are storing information on 365 SharePoint, and you are really starting to use the application, or you've been using it for such a long time. Your data that is hosted in this environment, in this case, Microsoft servers, you do need to be able to make sure that you have a backup available, okay? Yes, the Microsoft is doing amazing job at hosting the data. And obviously they have on the back end, obviously a lot of procedures available to protect the data and be able to avoid the compromising of the information, and also be able to have the data in a good place and safe place. This doesn't mean that if something is to happen to your information, that they are going to be available right away to get it back to you. You are responsible as the owner or responsible of the business to make decisions, to be able to have systems available to implement beforehand, so that you can recover the data if something is to happen, okay? So you are only responsible for that. Obviously, you do have to work, and we highly recommend it to work with your IT provider in this case, so that you can have a plan of action if something is to happen to your information. So in this case, we're going to talk about Office Backup or Office 365 Backup. Now, to clarify, there's a conversation about Office 365, and if we go back to in here to our Office 365 platform, you have obviously emails, okay, that you can use here in Outlook. You can have this, and of course, if you start sending emails back and forth, you're going to have content. Content is available in emails. Content is available. Sometimes it's very important to save the information that you have in the sent items, for example. Maybe you have proposals, maybe you have information, maybe you have important content that you worked on, and that's data. That's data maybe that you are interested in keeping at all times, okay? Now, not only you have the email, the content, but maybe you have attachment, maybe you have Excels, maybe you have Word documents that are in those emails available to you as well. Now, obviously, this is not only one person. This is maybe 30 employees, maybe 500 employees that you want to make sure that your data is kept secure. So you are talking about a lot of data that you are exchanging on a daily basis. Now, besides that, you also have other applications, for example, OneDrive and SharePoint. How do you protect that data? That data is not the same as the emails. That data is maybe has Word documents, Excel, and other files available, depending on your industry, that you also have to protect, okay? In this case, the Office Backup is able to protect this information available, okay? So you will have different products available. We actually offer a product called Office Backup so that you can actually protect this information. So let's go into this. We go to the next and only a slide here. Obviously, we talk about this, why you have to protect your information. You know, yeah, we have 45% of the malware being delivered in Office attachments, 70% of cyber attacks, obviously targeting of Microsoft Office 365. So no matter what the issue is, say, for example, you are attacked, or maybe you have a situation that happens, or maybe you have emails being lost, or maybe deleted by mistake, you have to have different ways, not only to protect the product, and that we use Office Protect, but also to back up and be able to restore the information if you are attacked. So in that case, we recommend the online backup or Office Backup, okay? Now here, how this works is, I'm gonna go to the slide again. 1 second. Okay, let me actually go back here. For some reason, I'm not seeing the portion that we wanted to talk about, which is this one here. Okay, so here we have this, the Office Backup. Let me actually play here. For some reason, it's not really showing. Okay, we're gonna do next here. Having some problems here with my, there you go. So here the solution for this is the Office Backup is the backup of the content in this case called emails and files, okay? So what Office does in this case is to protect the emails. You can select your mailbox to be protected one by one. You can select the entire organization, but you're gonna also select all the users or maybe the departments, depending what is important to you. Obviously, we recommend to do the backups of all the emails, but maybe there are some emails that maybe are not so important, or maybe the content exchange during these emails are not necessarily something that you have to consider. Obviously, that's a personal and business decision. Okay. Now, once that data is backed up in a regular basis, you have the ability, as you can see, to recover the data. What we call the recovery portion of this. You're able to recover the information and then put it back in the mailbox associated with a situation that maybe the data was lost for different reasons. Okay. Now, it is important to say, what is the difference between Office emails being backed up and also SharePoint? There are two different things. Okay, they're not the same type of content. One thing is that the information that you have in your emails, and one other thing in your mailbox, and another thing is the information that you have in the backup in the content related to SharePoint. They are not exactly the same thing. So make sure that once you implement, and we go back here to our Office 365 again, make sure that you understand that you have backups for your mail and also backups for your SharePoint, because if you lose one or the other one and you don't have the solution or the backup in place, then it's good news that you're going to be able to restore the data, maybe in your mailbox, but not necessarily in your SharePoint. So you have to understand that you have to choose what exactly is it that you want to back up while working with your IT provider in this case, okay? So the important thing is that there's programs available for you to protect your data and make sure that your business continues to run without interruption in any case of attacks or data loss, okay? So that's the most important thing from this conversation. If you have any questions, send us an email to info@virtualcns.com and we'll be happy to help in this process. Thanks again for watching our videos, and if you like the video, obviously click on like or subscribe to our channel. Thanks again.